Colors in the Sand Creek Massacre, unearthing the survivors' untold stories. The Colorado plains are windswept and vast, their grasses rippling gold beneath an endless sky. But beneath this tranquil surface lies ground stained with memory, a site where, on a cold November morning in 1864, the Sand Creek Massacre unfolded in brutal and tragic detail. For generations, official accounts painted the tragedy in stark black and white. Yet, as archaeologists sift the sand and uncover fragments of color, beads, textiles, and personal artifacts, a more nuanced, powerful story of survival and resistance emerges, challenging the narratives etched in history books. A tragedy in the early light. At dawn on November 29, 1864, a peaceful encampment of Cheyenne and Arapaho families awoke to the thunder of cavalry. Led by Colonel John Chivington, Colorado volunteers swept down on the camp, killing more than 150 Native Americans, mostly women, children, and elders. The official reports at first boasted of victory in a battle, but survivors' testimonies told a different story, one of betrayal, terror, and loss. For years, the massacre's story was shaped by these competing narratives, military dispatches, congressional inquiries, and harrowing oral histories. Yet much of the survivors' experience remained hidden, waiting to be unearthed not just in words, but in the silent testimony of the earth itself. Digging into the past, colors and clues. Recent archaeological work at Sand Creek has begun to fill in the gaps, revealing the massacre's aftermath through the artifacts left behind. Teams of native and non-native archaeologists, often working alongside descendants of survivors, have found items that speak to the personal lives and resilience of the people who endured the attack. Among the most striking finds are fragments of colorful glass beads, turquoise, red, yellow, and white, scattered across the site. Once woven into necklaces, clothing, and moccasins, these beads tell of a vibrant culture, of families who celebrated life even as they faced hardship. Nearby, pieces of painted parfleche, rawhide containers, and strips of cloth dyed with natural pigments offer glimpses of artistry and individuality. These colors in the sand are more than decorative. They are evidence of identity, memory, and survival. In some places, beadwork patterns match those found in objects passed down by survivors' families. The parallels suggest that, even in the chaos of violence, many women and children carried with them the most precious pieces of their heritage. Challenging the old narratives, the archaeological record complicates the old black and white versions of the Sand Creek Massacre. While textbooks often focus on the event's horror, the artifacts reveal how people tried to escape, help one another, and hold on to their traditions. Charred fragments of children's toys, a woman's metal thimble, and even a battered mirror have been found in shallow trenches, likely hurriedly dug in an attempt to hide or protect loved ones. These items bear silent witness to the chaos and courage of that morning. They challenge the notion that the victims were passive or powerless. Instead, the survivors' stories, traced in the colorful remnants of daily life, show a community determined to endure, to remember, and to pass on their stories. Survivors speak through the earth. Descendants of Cheyenne and Arapaho survivors often join archaeologists at Sand Creek, sharing oral histories that illuminate the meaning of each find. For many, the process is one of healing and reclaiming a history that has too often been told by outsiders. One descendant, examining a recovered beadwork fragment, explained, "These were not just ornaments. They were a mother's gift to her daughter, a promise that even in the darkest times, beauty and hope would not be lost." Another spoke of how certain bead patterns represented prayers or family lineages, a living record of connection that endures even when written records are silent. A living legacy today, the Sand Creek Massacre National Historic Site honors both loss and resilience. The colors found in the earth have inspired new generations of artists and activists who work to tell the full story, one that includes not only violence and injustice, but also strength, survival, and cultural pride. The continuing discoveries at Sand Creek invite us to reconsider whose voices we listen to and how we remember. The artifacts, beads, fabric, tools, are not just remnants of tragedy. They are threads in a tapestry of survival,